So I recently had an economics midterm, and during this economics midterm, I came across a really interesting question. And the question goes like this: Bob averages 2 cups of coffee today, while Jessica averages 1 cup of coffee today. They both buy them from the same coffee shop. They always cost $3. And assuming that most individuals have a decreasing marginal benefit curve, which of the following statements are consistent with the information that the question provides? Number 1. Bob's marginal cost of the second cup equals Jessica's marginal cost of the first cup. This is an absolutely true statement, right? The cafe sells them for $3 a cup. You're losing $3 a cup every time you buy a coffee. It just is what it is. You get to pay and you get a product. It's just how that works. Number 2, Bob gains as much happiness from drinking 2 cups as Jessica drinks from 1 cup. We can't tell, okay? Happiness is like hard to quantify, and maybe Bob gains more happiness, maybe he gains less happiness. Who knows? Maybe Jessica just really gets hit by the caffeine, not unlike Bob. Maybe Bob is like immune. What a fucking loser! I would hate to be immune to caffeine. And then number 3. Bob's marginal benefit of the first cup must be higher than Jessica's. When I first answered this question, I thought, oh, the answer is D. That both 1 and 3 are true. However, the second time I went through, I realized that this was not true. We do not know when Jessica's marginal benefit curve crosses the cost curve, or the cost curve, it's a straight line and they all cost 3 lines. So, I went on my way, I answered, oh, it's only 1. It's A. I changed my answer. And then the test scores came out, and I got a 19 out of 20. I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's pretty good even. I want to go check what question I got wrong, and it was this question. The answer was D after all. And so I do what any sane man would do. I pull up my email box. I email the TA. I'm just like, I'm not sure exactly what I did wrong here. Could you explain to me? And then I listed all my reasoning. And then, you know what she did? She said, oh, you can refer to the slides. I'm not going to explain this to you, but if you want you to know, the professor's going to explain this on Monday. And so then I waited like a patient little boy, right? The professor was going to explain it. Who am I to go in there and start demanding that this TA has an even harder time and demand answers? So then today comes around, and I'm sitting in class, and the question comes up. And so, I pull it up. I'm just like, well, you see, we don't know when the marginal cost line crosses the cost curve. And it is possible that, Jessica gets, like, whenever she drinks caffeine, she meets God. She only needs 1 cup to meet God. She drinks caffeine, then she's a higher plane of existence, and it's great. She's having a great time. But Bob, on the other hand, needs 2 cups of coffee to reach God. So he gets 6% on the way there on the first cup of coffee, and then 40% of the way there on the second cup of coffee, and then he's also meeting God. But he needs 2 cups. So then Jessica gets more value out of the first cup, right? Because, she's already meeting God after 1 cup. She only needs 1. Why would she ever buy a second one? Like, there's no, after the God, there's nothing. There's nothing you can meet. So, I was like, this is a little bit silly. And then she pulled out this. Oh, well, we know when Jessica's curve interacts with a cost line, it is at 1. Jessica's benefit is 3. And you know why? Because the question doesn't exclude fractionals. I mean, technically, she's correct. I mean, it doesn't exclude fractionals or include fractionals. It doesn't state that. However, this is a great new principle in economics. The fractional coffee rule. Whenever you go to a Starbucks, to a coffee shop, a coffee bean even, you know what you can do? You can buy fractional coffees. You can go there and be like, oh, I guess I would like 3 2/4 of a latte, please. Well, in fact, the mocha here is something that's a little bit too much. Only 95 out of 100 mochas, please. Yeah, I can't handle the whole thing. You know what? In fact, straight black coffee, that is so good. I want 1 3/4 of straight black coffee. This is a great new principle we've discovered here. The marginal fractional coffee cup curves. It's great. And this is on an economics exam. And this was her argument. And then after this, I think understandably, another guy goes, yeah, Miss Professor, under what common sense rule are you ordering fractional coffees? It seems a little bit stupid. And then she goes, oh, well, I can't include everything in the question. I'm not powerful enough to do that. It's not impossible. If I was including everything in the question, every question would be a page long. You guys would never get through it. I'm doing you guys a favor. And then, knowing she's back in the corner, she said, well, even if you guys get it wrong, it's only 1 point. It's only 1 point. It doesn't matter. It's not going to change the curve. Your grades overall. It's probably not going to make a difference. Yes, it will. 3 people got on the email. Oh, congratulations for the 3 people who got a perfect score. I got a 19 out of 20. This is the only one I got wrong. I would have been one of those 3 people. In fact, those 3 people didn't even deserve a perfect score because they got this question wrong, assuming that the fractional coffee principle is false. But no, it is true. And it is an absolute clown show. An absolute clown show. I have never heard so much denial from a professor before. Because to be honest, this is like the only professor that has happened this. My math professor got something wrong today as well. You know what he did? I raised my hand. I was like, I think that's an x squared instead of a 2x. I think you forgot to make it prime. And he's like, oh my god, thank you so much. Nobody else got that. Thank you. People would have had bad lecture notes. I appreciate you paying attention to my work and correcting it, but not in economics class. You see, in economics, whatever the professor says goes. You know, she just, because, you know, I should have considered the fractional cost. The fact that Jessica could drink 1.3 coffees per day, which was not stated anywhere. So that was my, what was that? Economics teacher being an absolute clown. Now that's over. I had a second teacher. This is my dance appreciation history teacher, otherwise known as Dance 45. So in another video, I made a video about how, you know, she put a map up in our lecture slides that was just completely false, just having made up shit like the Iberian Union and the United Kingdom of Ireland and the UK or something, or even the state of the Bulgars, Bosnians, and Serbians, and that they were all getting along. So I took this map one day and I went up to her and I was like, Miss Holmes, I don't think this map is correct. I mean, I don't think the Iberian Union has ever existed. And I pointed out a few other things. You know what she said? She said, look it. It says on the top that this is a map of 1850. This is a map of 1850. Look at it at the top. And I was just standing there and I was in disbelief. Because she looked at this map that was clearly made up. Clearly a Redditor thing. And I thought it was AI generated, but apparently it's from Reddit. And she said it's a map from, so then I followed up. I was like, oh, yeah, it's not. It's not a map from 18. This is a map that's completely fake. And then she said, oh, could you send me a correct map then? Which is, you know, I would be happy to, if not for the fact that these 2 videos are gonna exist making fun of her, and I do not want an email, you know, with all of my like credentials, with my last name and my first name, so she can be like, oh, this man insulting me on the internet. You know, we're gonna have to lower his grade. I mean, like, so that still hasn't been fixed. But what it really goes to show you that, you know, in universities, professors are paying attention. They're paying attention, and when they're wrong, it's not their fault. It's not their fault. It's because, you know, you didn't read the question hard enough, and, you know, they are immune to the consequences. You know, it's just a points. It's just one of your own points. Who cares? Who cares? It won't make a difference in your grade anyhow. So, really a shame. I'm kind of disappointed in my professors right now. Except for my math one. The math one's doing great. But again, I don't even see how you can fuck up math. Because, like, I imagine what the teacher does is for every test questions, he has all of his 4 TAs who are all, like, super nerdy. All do the question as well. And, you know, if everybody gets the right answer, it's probably the right answer, you know. And it's pretty easy to, you know, not to argue. It's pretty easy. It's pretty hard to argue when you're wrong, because you just did the math wrong. 2 plus 2 does not equal 5. You fool! It equals 4. So I think it's pretty hard to fuck up that class. That's why that's the only class so far that isn't a clown. But my other 2, my economics class has been degraded to clown level, and of course my dance 45 class. I mean, it's been clown level from the start. It's just the map is the one that really proves that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. That was the fractional coffee principle in economics. See ya.